Can't a fanboy, Apple must be paying him. Bias. It's everywhere, even with your favorite tech YouTubers, but that's okay. Let's talk about it. Whenever we're talking about tech or gaming reviews or editorials, something that seems to come up in the comments a lot is this desire for unbiased opinions. And if I'm honest, I don't think y'all want that as much as you think you do.
You think you do, but you don't.
Let me tell you, it's definitely there, regardless of who you watch. Bias is an inherently human thing. We all need to have opinions and thoughts about stuff to make decisions at every point in our lives. For example, why do a lot of us choose to go to Wendy's over McDonald's?
Wendy's is better.
You're right. If that wasn't a sign from the gods, I don't know what is. We all have to make the most informed decisions we can somehow, but just like you would with politics or with tech and gaming, understanding where biases come from is key to making informed opinions. We as people are very social beings, and as such, whenever we find like-minded individuals, whether it be through friend groups or through influencers on a screen, naturally we will gravitate toward them because they share in the same beliefs that you have. But what doesn't help with that is the algorithm, especially on YouTube and TikTok. Now, unfortunately, with the way that things work, we YouTubers have to play to the system in order to do things like put a roof over our head and have meals to eat. Take Linus and LTT, for example. They play the game hard because they have to. They're running a company with tons and tons of people. And you can see it with crazy titles and thumbnails all the time, some that even get people riled up. But it worked. It got your click. And I would know, a lot of my viewers also happen to watch LMG. Or even something that hits home a little more, what about on the Austin Evans channel? How many times have we made videos on PS5s and Xboxes that shoot one way or another? Even myself here on Denki. Subscribe. No. I've made a few videos chronicling why I use iPhones and MacBooks on the daily, and that's because it's what works best for me. But when it comes to watching content on YouTube or TikTok, whatever it might be, as a viewer, it is up to you guys to make informed judgments on the stuff that we talk about. Because after all, if you don't, the algorithm will certainly help you with that. And when it feeds you similar content to what you've already watched in hopes that you'll keep watching, you might find yourself in a content echo chamber. I actually talked about the algorithm in another video and painted it in a more positive light where this might sound helpful, but there's also something to be said when the content starts skewing in one direction. It kind of limits you. It might feed you good stuff, it might feed you bad stuff. But when left to its own accord, it's easy to think that the videos that it feeds you are the general consensus. But it's up to you to take all of that in responsibly and figure out how it applies to your opinions and thoughts. Let me put it this way. If you surround yourself with the same people that share the same opinion, while that might be an easy and frictionless life, but it doesn't quite help you grow as a person.
Don't you want to become a cult leader?
Additionally, without contrast, we wouldn't appreciate the things that we like as much. A lot of times we need to see the flaws in things that don't work in order to appreciate what does. Okay, but you're not a fanboy. I'm not a fanboy. There's nothing wrong with both of us liking things. Preconceived notions and expectations are all built up on bias people already had. And these opinions add flavor to stuff we already see on paper. Stuff like spec lists, features on the back of a box. These are things that people can find on an Amazon page. And that's why we scroll down to read the reviews. Let's take a Ferrari, for example. One might have 600 horsepower, really awesome brakes, aerodynamics for days, unless you're the F1 team, but that doesn't have any bearing on what you actually feel as a human toward that car. You might say the car is beautiful, the sense of speed puts a smile on your face, and sometimes that's just not enough for people? Before I continue with this video, I'd like to take a moment to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss a beat on when I upload content. There is a lot of tech coming out over the next couple of weeks that I'd like to make videos on. So if you want to stay up to date, what are you waiting for? The thing I don't like about this notion of biased reviews being a bad thing is that when it is unbiased, if you can even get there, it just takes the humanity out of it. It kind of makes a difference of something like ChatGPT making a review versus Marques Brownlee making a video on why he likes the S23 Ultra. Now again, this puts a lot of emphasis on you as the viewer to make the most informed judgments and decisions that you can, but I can't stress enough that you don't have to agree with what us content creators have to say. What we can all agree on, however, is that opening up your worldview can do a lot to not only help you understand further why you like something, but it might also help you find this new appreciation for something that you wouldn't have otherwise have seen. One example that comes to mind, and it isn't a tech one, so just bear with me, is when I got into One Piece. I've been an anime fan for something like 12 years now, and for about 11 of those, I wasn't exactly open to the idea of watching One Piece. Not only is it one of the most popular series in the world, the manga is in the same conversation as Shakespeare for being one of the most popular fictional works of all time. But little hipster me is like, this thing's too popular, it can't be good. Or, wow, I have to watch 1,100 episodes of this? Surely it can't be worth it. I started watching the anime back in September with a friend, and now in January, we are almost 200 episodes in, and that's while working my full-time job. When I opened up my worldview and decided to include One Piece into my life, I got to experience everything that I was missing. The amazing world building, the memorable characters, insane story arcs that honestly left me crying. I would have missed out on all of this if I kept my mind narrow. Narrow. Even if something's not your cup of tea, be it an opinion, music, or certain subject matters, it can be worth entertaining. Now, I'm no master of debate, but it is certainly something that I'm trying to figure out, especially in this second year of me making content on Denki. And I've certainly had my fair share of comments that I've had to reply to, or maybe I should just gratuitously use that mute button.
I don't like the fact you use the word gratuitously in that sentence, but we'll go with it.
Gratuitously master debating? Well, I try my best to sell points that are important to me. Ultimately, I don't go into a video thinking at all. Apparently, I lost what I was gonna say. I don't go into a video expecting everyone to share the same opinion as me. But I genuinely mean this. That's totally fine. Thanks very much for watching this episode of Denki Channel. Let me know. Am I crazy about this stuff with biases? Also, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and also the subscribe button if you have not yet to find out when there's more content.